Dev Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirviseshasha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasade Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3 Chapter 2 Text 33 Uddhav's remembrances of Lord Krishna. Varshan Varshatindre Vrajakopad Bhagnamane Ati Vihavalaha Gotra Lila Lila Tapatrena Trato Bhadranugranata. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O sober Vidur, King Indra, his honor having been insulted, poured water incessantly on Vrindavan, and thus the inhabitants of Braj, the land of cows, were greatly distressed. But the compassionate Lord Krishna saved them from danger with his pastime umbrella, the Govardhana hill. So Uddhav is also remembering the Govardhan pastime as we read yesterday also. Sharachasi karer mishtam Manayan Rajni Mukham Gayan Kala Padam Reme Strinam Mandala Mandanaha. In the third season of the year, the Lord enjoyed as the central beauty of the assembly of women by attracting them with his pleasing songs in an autumn night brightened by moonshine. Before leaving the land of cows, Vrindavan, the Lord pleased his young girlfriends, the transcendental gopis, in his Rasa-Lila pastimes. Here, Uddhav stopped his description of the Lord's activities. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Remembrance of Lord Krishna. So
this, what they are saying is Varsh ki Tritiya Ritu mein. So is it the Sharad Ritu?
Yeah, the Rasa dance happened in the Sharad Purna.
Sharad, okay.
Yeah, as we have been reading in the Krishna book recently.
Yeah, it's a Sharad Ritu, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So And then chapter 3, the Lord's pastimes out of Vrindavan. So Uddhav is still continuing with his pastimes, the remembrance of the Lord. Uddhava vacha tatha sa agatya puram swapitros chirikshaya sambaladeva samyutah nipatya tungadripuyuttanatham atam vyakarshad vyasum ojasorvyam. Sri Uddhav said, thereafter Lord Krishna went to Mathura city with Sri Baladev, and to please their parents, they dragged Kamsa, the leader of public enemies, down from his throne and killed him, pulling him along the ground with great strength. King Kamsa's death is only briefly described here because such pastimes are vividly and elaborately described in the 10th canto. The Lord proved to be a worthy son of his parents, even at the age of 16 years. Both brothers, Lord Krishna and Lord Baladev, went to Mathura from Vrindavan and killed their maternal uncle who had given so much trouble to their parents, Vasudev and Devki. Kamsa was a great giant, and Vasudev and Devki never thought that Krishna and Baladev, would be able to kill such a great and strong enemy. When the two brothers attacked Kamsa on the throne, their parents feared that now Kamsa would finally get the opportunity to kill their sons, whom they had hidden for so long in the house of Nanda Maharaj. The parents of the Lord, due to parental affection, felt extreme danger and they almost fainted. Just to convince them that they had actually killed Kamsa, Krishna and Baladev pulled Kamsa's dead body along the ground to encourage them. So how much attachment Vasudeva and Devki have for Krishna? They're not thinking, oh, he's the Supreme Lord, it's okay, he can kill Kamsa, he's going to fight him and Kamsa will die and Krishna and Balaram, they will win. No, they are feeling so much anxiety for the well-being of Krishna and Balaram. Isn't it amazing to have such feelings for the Lord? We have feelings here for each other in this material world, but we should have this great attachment for Krishna. So here, which is exhibited by Vasudeva and Devki. Sandipane sakrit proktam brahmaditya savistaram tasmai pradadvaram putram mritam pancha janodarat. The Lord learned all the Vedas with their different branches simply by hearing them once from his teacher, Sandipani Muni, whom he rewarded by bringing back his dead son from the region of Yamalok. No one but the Supreme Lord can become well-versed in all the branches of Vedic wisdom simply by hearing once from his teacher. So Krishna, to set an example, he also took up a teacher. Not that he said, okay, I'm the Supreme Lord, so I'm not going to take up a teacher. Because as great people, as great personalities do, common men follow. So Krishna was setting the example. Not that he had to learn. He already knew the Vedas because he's the original speaker of the Vedas. But just for our benefit that, okay, you have to have a guru. He took on the guru to hear all the Vedic wisdom from him. Nor can anyone bring a dead body back to life after the soul has already gone to the region of Yamaraj. But Lord Krishna ventured to the planet of Yamaloka and found the dead son of his teacher and brought him back to his father as a reward for the instructions received. So because Sandipani Muni, when Krishna asked him, what can I do for you? Sandipani Muni said, I heard you. Because Sandipani Muni could understand that Krishna is not ordinary. So he consulted with his wife and they said, let's ask him to bring our dead son back to life because he can do it. The Lord is constitutionally well versed in all the Vedas and yet to teach by example that everyone must go to learn the Vedas from an authorized teacher and must satisfy the teacher by service and reward. He himself adopted this system. So Krishna, he heard the Vedas from his teacher, but also he wanted to give Guru Dakshina. He wanted to serve his guru. So we should also have that mood that we hear from the guru and then we try to please them. We try to please them. So the Lord offered his services to his teacher Sandipani Muni, and the Muni, knowing the power of the Lord, asked something which was impossible to be done by anyone else. The teacher asked that his beloved son, who had died, be brought back to him, and the Lord fulfilled the request. The Lord is not, therefore, an ingrate to anyone who renders him some sort of service. The devotees of the Lord who always engage in his loving service are never to be disappointed in the progressive march of devotional service. So Prabhupada is saying it's not that Krishna only takes service from his devotees and he doesn't reciprocate. Krishna reciprocates so much. He fills the devotee's heart with happiness and bliss. Yeah. The devotees who are engaged in loving devotional service. So text 3. Samahuta Bhishmaka Kanya Ye Shriyas Svaranena Bubu Shayaisham Gandharva Vrityam Mishatam Swabhagam Jare Padam Murdani Dadat Suparnaha. Attracted by the beauty and fortune of Rukmini, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, many great princes and kings assembled to marry her. But Lord Krishna, stepping over the other hopeful candidates, carried her away as his own share, as Garuda carried away nectar. Princess Rukmini, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, was actually as attractive as fortune itself because she was as valuable as gold, both in color and in value. Since the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is the property of the Supreme Lord, Rukmini was actually meant for Lord Krishna. So Rukmini Devi, she's the original Lakshmi. She's an expansion. She's an expansion of Radharani. All Krishna's consorts, the queens, Lakshmi Devi, they are all expansions of Srimati Radharani. But Shishupal was selected as her bridegroom by Rukmini's elder brother, although King Bhishmaka wanted his daughter to be married to Krishna. Rukmini invited Krishna to take her away from the clutches of Shishupal. So when the bridegroom Shishupal came there with his party with the desire to marry Rukmini, Krishna all of a sudden swept her from the scene, stepping over the heads of all the princes there, just as Garuda carried away nectar from the hands of the demons. This incident will be clearly explained in the 10th canto. So here Uddhav is just remembering all these pastimes of what has happened. And of course, we will be in great detail, all the pastimes are explained. Kakudmino avidya nasho damitva swayamvare nagana jitam uvahaha tad bhagna manan api gradyato ajnan jagne shata shastra brata swashastre. By subduing 7 bulls whose noses were not pierced, the Lord achieved the hand of Princess Nagnijiti in the open competition to select her bridegroom. Although the Lord was victorious, his competitors asked the hand of the princess, and thus there was a fight. Well equipped with weapons, the Lord killed or wounded all of them, but he himself was not hurt. So this is how he married the princess Nagnijiti. He had to put a rope in the nose of 7 bulls, so fierce bulls. So Priyam Prabhur Gramya Iva Priyaya Viditsur Archa Duyatarum Yad Arthe Vajri Adravatam Sagano Rusandaha Kridamrigo Nunam Ayam Vadhunam. Just to please his dear wife, the Lord brought back the Parijat tree from heaven, just as an ordinary husband would do. But Indra, the king of heaven, induced by his wives, henpecked as he was, ran after the Lord with full force to fight him. The Lord once went to the heavenly planet to present an earring to Aditi, the mother of the demigods, and his wife Satyabhama also went with him. So Krishna wanted to return back the earrings to Aditi. I think after he killed one king, I forgot his name, Bhaumasur. Anyway, it will be explained later. So there is a special flowering tree called the Parijat, which grows only in the heavenly planets, and Satyabhama wanted this tree. Just to please his wife, like an ordinary husband, the Lord brought back the tree, and this enraged Vajri, or the controller of the thunderbolt. Indra's thunderbolt is called Vajra. So that's why it's called Vajri, the one who controls the thunderbolt. Indra's wives inspired him to run after the Lord to fight. And Indra, because he was a henpecked husband and also a fool, listened to them and dared to fight with Krishna. He was a fool on this occasion because he forgot that everything belongs to the Lord. So he had gotten so possessive that this Parijat tree should be only in the heaven, it can't go on the earth. And so he started fighting with Krishna. There was no fault on the part of the Lord, even though he took away the tree from the heavenly kingdom. But because Indra was henpecked, dominated by his beautiful wives like Sachi, he became a fool, just as all persons who are dominated by their wives are generally foolish. What do women have to say about this? Well, if the wife is intelligent and she's guiding the husband nicely, that is good. Same goes for husband and wife, you know. If we follow a foolish husband, then we will be in problem. And if the husband follows a foolish wife, he'll be in problem. Indra thought that Krishna was a henpecked husband who only by the will of his wife Satyabhama took away the property of heaven. And therefore he thought that Krishna could be punished. He forgot that the Lord is the proprietor of everything and cannot be henpecked. The Lord is fully independent, and by his will only he can have hundreds and thousands of wives like Satyabhama. He was not, therefore, attached to Satyabhama because she was a beautiful wife, but he was pleased with her devotional service and thus wanted to reciprocate the unalloyed devotion of his devotee. So the difference between Lord Indra and Krishna is here that Indra wanted to please his beautiful wives. He was under their control. But here, Krishna is not under the control of Satyabhama. He's fully independent. No one can control Krishna, but he gets controlled by the love of his devotees. Because Satyabhama was engaging in such unalloyed, loving devotional service. He wanted to reciprocate with her as a husband does. With all the wives, he did that. With all the gopis also. In the wives of each of the palace, he would live as a henpecked husband. And then the wives, they would want, have so much love for Krishna. They were living there as his maidservants, wanting to just please him. They don't want anything else. And to reciprocate with that love, Krishna was willing to do anything for them. So it's Krishna's relationships are all based on love, just pure love. Here in the material world, that love has been transformed into lust, and all our relationships, it's lust going in the name of love. Because this material world is perverted, we don't even realize it. We say, no, it is love. How can you say it's lust? But if we just introspect our actions, it all stems from lust. So even pride, anger, greed, all that is lust. Lust does not mean only sex desire, but wanting to control, wanting to manipulate, all that comes under lust. So reading on, text 6. Sutam hridekam vapu sagrasantam drishtva shunab bon mathitam dharitriya amantritas tattanyayat shesham datva tad anta puram avishesha. Narakasur, the son of Dharitri, the earth, tried to grasp the whole sky, and for this he was killed by the Lord in a fight. His mother then prayed to the Lord. This led to the return of the kingdom to the son of Narakasur, and thus the Lord entered the house of the demon. It is said in the other Puranas that Narakasur was the son of Dharitri, the earth, by the Lord himself. But he became a demon due to the bad association of Bana, another demon. An atheist is called a demon, and it is a fact that even a person born of good parents can turn into a demon by bad association. Birth is not always the criterion of goodness, unless and until one is trained in the culture of good association. One cannot become good. So here Krishna is showing by example that even though Narkasur is his son, because he got into bad association with Bana, Bana is Banasur, also a demon. So Narkasur also became demoniac. So we should remember that birth is not the criterion. We have to cultivate our divine qualities in the association. We have to cultivate our devotion to the Lord in the association of devotees. Tatrartasta naradeva kanya kujena drishtva harim arta bandhum uthaya sadyo jagruhu praharsha Vrindanuraga Prahita Valokehe. There in the house of the demon, all the princesses kidnapped by Narkasur at once became alert upon seeing the Lord, the friend of the distressed. They looked upon him with eagerness, joy, and shyness, and offered to be his wives. Narkasur kidnapped many daughters of great kings and kept them imprisoned in his palace. But when he was killed by the Lord, and the Lord entered the house of the demon, all the princesses were enlivened with joy and offered to become his wives, because the Lord is the only friend of the distressed. Unless the Lord accepted them, there would be no chance of their being married, because the demon kidnapped them from their father's custody, and therefore no one would agree to marry them. According to Vedic society, girls are transferred from the custody of the father to the custody of the husband. Since these princesses had already been taken away from the custody of their fathers, it would have been difficult for them to have any husband other than the Lord himself. So in the Vedic society, it was like that because they were kidnapped by the demon, so the other people would not accept them. But Krishna is so merciful. He's so merciful that if no one accepts us, yet Krishna accepts us. He's so kind.
So this is where the 16,000, right? 100.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So text 8. Asam muruta ekasmin nana gareshu yoshitam savidam jagre panin anurupa swamayaya. All those princesses were lodged in different apartments, and the Lord simultaneously assumed different bodily expansions, exactly matching each and every princess. He accepted their hands in perfect rituals by his internal potency. So here, Uddhav is recollecting how Krishna married each 16,108 wives. And it's not that he was there one himself and then all 16,800, 16,000 wives were there at one time. No, he expanded himself. He expanded as many wives are there. In the Brahma Samhita 5.33, the Lord is described as follows in regard to his innumerable plenary expansions. Advaitam achyutam anadim anantarupam adyam purana purusham navayovanam cha vedeshu durlabam adurlabam atma bhakta govindam adi purusham tam aham bhajami. The Lord Govinda, whom I worship, is the original personality of Godhead. He is non-different from his innumerable plenary expansions, who are all infallible, original, and unlimited, and who have eternal forms. Although he is primeval, the oldest personality is always fresh and young. So Krishna expanded himself as many wives as there were, and each expansion is the same, has equal potency. So the other day we asked if Kalki has all the 6 opulences. Yes, Kalki avatar also has all 6 opulences, because all the expansions of Krishna are equally powerful. They're equally powerful. So, and Krishna, although he's the oldest, but he doesn't look like an old man with wrinkles and white hair. No, and with a bent back or something. No, he's always fresh and young. By his internal potency, the Lord can expand himself into various personalities of Swayam Prakash, and again into Prabhav and Vaibhav forms, and all of them are non-different from one another. So there are these different, Krishna's expansions are called different names, Swayam Prakash, Prabhav, Vaibhav. These are all expansions of Krishna, which are divided into different categories, but they are non-different from one another. Doesn't matter which category they fall into, they have the equal potency. They are non-different. The forms into which the Lord expanded to marry the princesses in different apartments were all slightly different, just to match each and every one of them. They are called the Vaibhav Vilas forms of the Lord, and are affected by his internal potency, Yoga Maya. So, and then Krishna is getting married to them not in one place. They're all in their different palaces. He created 16,108 palaces. And then he has expanded himself to match the queen. So they look like a good couple. And then these expansions are called Vaibhav Vilas. Vaibhav Vilas because they are not exactly identical looking. They are a little different looking. And of course, Krishna's all his expansions, everything happens by his internal potency.
So all this happened in Dwarka.
Yes.
Dwarka.
All this happened in Dwarka. So many people say, oh, Krishna married so many wives, so I can also have so many wives. But Krishna, he created a separate palace for each wife. He was maintaining each wife very comfortably. And also, he was with each wife at every time. Not that he would visit one wife one day and another wife the other day.
Yeah.
He expanded himself because people like to argue. They like to when we don't know about Krishna very well, then we just want to to use his pastimes to our advantage so that we can engage in sinful activities.
Yeah, that's why they say that love between the princesses or gopis or whoever with Krishna, it was upasana. It was not lusty. That's why the difference is between like a boy and a girl in the material world. It's lusty, but this is upasana, the love, the relationship. So that's the difference,
It's
right?
true love, yes. And how we have been reading in Caitanya Caritamrta that the gopis and Srimati Radharani, they are Krishna's own internal potency.
Yes.
They're not different. They're not somebody else. They're his own internal potency. And for the sake of loving pastimes, they have separated eternally. But yes, that there is that deep love. And so we can pray to them that, from their ocean of love and devotion, if they can give us one drop of this, we can also have some love for Krishna, some devotion for Krishna. So shall we stop here for today?
I just wanted to ask one question. What is Swayam Prakash?
So there are different expansions of Krishna.
Okay.
Swayam Prakash. Yeah, like he's expanding. Krishna
Okay.
is expanding himself. Swayam Prakash, Vaibhav, Prabhav and Vaibhav form. So all There are different names for his expansions, but
Okay.
know that all the expansions are non-different.
Okay. So like they all have the 6 opulences what Krishna has.
Yes, they all have 6 opulences. They can do anything, but they at one time they might just exhibit certain potency which is needed for that time,
Okay.
place, and circumstance, for
Okay.
that pastime.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Shyam ki jai, Gaurav Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari.
Thank you for joining in today.